Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor,
I'm Alex.
and we're back bringing you guys another movie review. This time, The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham, which I know you're a big fan of.
I heard.
So, you were excited for this.
Oh yeah.
However, I'm not gonna say I wasn't excited. It's just in 2023, out of the three movies he was in, he was kind of only one out of three. Kind of let us down with Expendables 4 and Meg 2. So I was kind of more so in a I'm excited, but I'm not gonna put too much emotion into it because I don't want to be let down kind of place. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But to my surprise and my enjoyment, positive, very good movie, very solid movie. Let's start with some general thoughts. I'll start honestly, like I said, low expectations. So that I wouldn't get disappointed. Boom, came right out of the gates with awesome action, a very intriguing story, and just a lot of awesomeness in an hour and 45, which is kind of short for like a movie of this scale. Usually, we're used to being around that 2 hour mark. But I thought the pacing was great. I thought everything it never felt long nor short. I felt like it did exactly what it needed to do at all times. And yeah, I honestly have nothing negative to say. Like, it was an awesome movie. And, and I definitely appreciate the fact that it was rated R because it definitely brought it to that oomph level, that next level, which obviously we'll get into some more spoiler territory later on in the video. But, solid movie. My rating, 8 out of 10. Super solid. Loved it. Would definitely watch it again. What about you? What were your thoughts on The Beekeeper?
Oh, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, seeing a Jason Statham movie in an action film. I'm like, I love Jason Statham. He's like one of my favorite action stars,
Right?
Like ever that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a David Ayer movie, and the fact that he's kind of returning to form after Warner Brothers completely messed up his Suicide Squad movie, and after his underwhelming movie, The Tax Collector from back in 2020. Seeing him actually just go full on out in this whole action romp thing is really great, and I hope to see more of that from him in the future for David Ayer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the movie was so solid. Its action sequences with the choreography with Jason Statham was amazing. It felt like every time Jason Statham came in there, it was like a whole precise whirlwind of destruction coming everywhere.
One man army.
Yeah, a whole one man army situation. But yeah, the movie was very solid with its concept for the whole what a beekeeper is. A very solid story premise on a very relatable problem, which starts at the beginning, but then just kind of unravel itself to something going much bigger than one would think.
Mm-hmm.
Man, again, very good performances by the supporting cast. But honestly, Jason Statham's the major standout. He's like you say, he's a whole one man army for what he is in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this action scenes will just go so hard compared to some other action films I've seen him in.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
It's probably the most peak of his physical capabilities that he's done for this thing. And I just hope he keep going harder and harder for other action movies he does in the future. The movie is very solid and very well done. And yeah, it's short compared to other action movies that we've seen, but the script and the writing of it keeps it very succinct and comprehensible, where nothing seems too outlandish or something that seems to be left out, but it just handles it very well.
It gives you what you need. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, it actually goes the way of the action films from the 90s to early 2000s one, where they're short, but it's just highly entertaining fun with a pretty good solid plot wise.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So which I honestly loved this movie for. And even though it kind of plays the classic trope one man army type thing, it feels very smart to where where usually the bad guys or antagonists just kind of just go through the motion, either don't see it as a huge problem, but they actually do the opposite, where they do take it as a serious problem, but they kind of know it's pointless, so they're just trying to maybe slow them down or delay it, which we'll get into more later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, David Ayer's The Beekeeper with Jason Statham, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I fully agree, and honestly, I think what makes it really solid is the fact that it's not too outlandish of an idea. Sometimes John Wicks can get to. it's definitely very fiction, you know, or like non-fiction, I should say. Like, you know, like it's definitely like
Hyper realistic.
yeah, you're like in that world, and you know you're in that world. Where with the Beekeeper, it's like, hey, the problem itself, not the one man army thing, but the problem itself, like that's definitely very real and can happen and does happen. You know, that kind of thing. But moving forward, we're gonna get into some spoiler territory. This was our spoiler-free portion of the video. 8 out of 10 from the both of us. 2 thumbs up, no doubt about it. Go watch The Beekeeper in theaters or once it gets to streaming, whatever the case is. We definitely recommend to watch, especially if you like just action films. And Jason Statham. If you like either one of those, you gotta watch this one, no doubt about it. But with that being said, if you haven't seen this movie, we're going to get into spoiler territory, so this is your spoiler warning. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't know how things work around here, we try to bring you guys videos at least once a week, so please make sure to subscribe and join us on this journey as we try to bring you guys more reviews, more movie reviews, TV reviews, all that kind of good stuff. And also, if you like this video, the best way to let us know is by hitting that thumbs up button down there, so please make sure to do that. We would really, really appreciate it. Now, spoiler alert again, but moving forward, the plot, right?
Yeah, the plot it really just goes in within like the first 5 minutes in the film.
Yeah.
Where we start with like Jason Statham's character, Adam Clay, who's a beekeeper, where he's basically just like tending the bees and making honey and everything. And he finds out that his neighbor, who he rents out a barn with, like his neighbor and like probably like his most only source of contact or human connection.
Yeah.
The Miss Eloise Parker. And she basically gets caught up in like an online phishing scheme where like literally there's this call center that's basically scams elderly people, and they literally take advantage of her, and they basically steal all of the money from her accounts.
And including a charity that she was in charge of. So it's like money that wasn't even hers. And they basically steal over $2 million worth of her money and her charity's money, and obviously that puts her in distress and ends up in her committing suicide. She kills herself.
Yeah, because honestly, right there, that already solidifies.
Sets the tone.
Yeah, sets
the tone. When I saw that, what did I tell you when I saw that? As soon as all the money was gone, I was like, dude, I'd shoot myself in the head. And sure enough, she shoots herself in the head. And I was like, that sets the tone. That sets the tone already. Because if that's your bar of like, if that's like your entry point in this movie, where it's like, it's not even like suicide in like a different manner. It's like you see a bullet hole in her head. It already sets the tone for like the. I'm just referring back to like how it's rated R and like really like intense with the visuals, you know, and that was already setting that tone.
Yeah, and already that whole entire scene when she was basically handing over the schemers, like she was giving them the money and everything. I really felt that because it's kind of an emotional moment where you're just like, no, please don't be doing that, because it is an actual problem that actually happens in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Where old elderly people literally get taken advantage of and have all their money taken away because you know, they're not technologically savvy, and they usually have to rely on their family members to come and help them. But like when they don't have that access, they're kind of forced to go by the person on the phone or on the internet who's trying to tell them what to do. But you can't really fully trust them because they might be scamming you.
Yep. And then that pretty much that's what drives Adam Clay. That's what drives Jason Statham's character. That's what drives him to, I guess, basically get revenge on the people who stole the money in the first place, because he, like you said, that was like he had retired from his past life where now he's just living a nice quiet life, and that poor lady was like the only person that he had, you know, contact with and she had like a connection with. And the fact that they did something so bad to her that she ended her own life was something that definitely bothered him enough to go on a rampage.
Yeah, the justified rampage, because when he finds out that the call center from where Miss Parker's money was taken from, he literally blows the place up and burns it to the ground.
Yep.
And he literally left 4 bodies inside the building to send a message, because everyone who was working in that building, or even the people who were like guarding the building, because they knew who they were working for, he basically saw them as like they're just as guilty as the person who stole that money.
Yeah, because
So,
they're all aware of what they're doing.
yeah, because like literally, as we find out, literally everyone who works in the call center that's scamming the elderly and everything, they're all con men or former criminals or schemers and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's like they're all just as guilty. So their collateral damage, no one's really gonna miss.
Yep. Yep. And then there's Head Honcho had a couple of these centers, so Jason Statham, Adam Clay had to go to the others and burn those to the ground as well. And that was awesome because that makes it simple. Like, he has this task and it's simple to follow. However, following along was so fun because these action sequences were awesome. I mean, truly, truly awesome. And going back to the point that it's rated R, I mean, you see a guy lose his fingers through a buzzsaw. Like, he puts a chain in a guy's mouth and pulls it so hard that it cracks his jaw.
It was a shotgun where he literally...
it was a shotgun.
It was a shotgun that was crammed into his mouth that literally broke his teeth off and literally killed him by snapping his neck, his jaw with it, leaving him like just dead on the ground.
And there are so many other examples of that in this where it's like, you don't need it. There's definitely plenty of action movies that have gotten the message across, the point across, without being so visually disturbing. But when it is that visually disturbing, it just gives you that extra pop. You know what I mean?
I think what also helps with that is because how it kind of creates this mystery of how, like, this person, whenever, like, even, like, the main antagonist who basically owns a company that's who basically came up with this whole call center scam. They're called Derek Danforth of Danforth Enterprises. He basically is thinking like, hey, who is this dude? He's a beekeeper? Like, why are we so afraid of this dude? And like this whole mystery of like what a beekeeper is, because we know Adam Clay is a beekeeper, but it's like how is this beekeeper like so dangerous as we see him keep going through these guys? It's like, okay, what exactly does this guy really do?
Right.
And then we just find out that what he is a beekeeper, but he's also part of like this beekeeper program, which is basically like these like very like one-man army agents that basically just go around just basically like having like all the resources and skill sets to basically wreak vengeance and justice on people that kind of upset like the hive of society and civilization.
Yeah, they're just highly skilled, highly trained, highly dangerous individuals that even a lot of they're unknown too, so they get called upon when their services are needed, but they're like almost even past the last line of defense, like, like Marines or special agents or like special forces, like any of those different branches, different names that you could possibly think of, even like MI6 probably, like all these realms of different types of defenses of that caliber. They're still like the beekeepers are like still above all that, like, because they kept referring to in the movie how they're like, that's the last person you want to see, you know what I mean? And it really drove the point that like, if you see a beekeeper or if you're in trouble with a beekeeper, you should literally like start making arrangements for your funeral. Like, it's like solidified and no way around it, you know? Which I liked because it added to the fervor, it was like he's coming for you and like there's no getting out of it. And then every time you saw him in action, he backed it up because he was just doing the craziest stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a good combo of like what was being said and what was being shown.
Yeah, and they also play smart into like the script, where like in other movies they basically see someone who's kind of like a former like assassin professional. They always be thinking like, okay, we can totally take care of this guy. He's old, he's nothing,
right.
or like we got the resources, but like
he was retired.
But no, like every other person except for Derek Danforth takes him seriously, where they play it smart, where they're thinking like, okay, yeah, there's literally no way they can take this guy down, but like Jeremy Irons' character Wallace, he basically saying like, okay, well, we know we can't really stop him. The only thing we can do is probably delay him and probably think of something to like find a way to get safe, because he already knows that when a beekeeper is after you, there's no stopping him because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said,
Mm-hmm.
as you see through Adam Clay's actions, he's like literally an unstoppable force every time you go up against him.
Yeah.
Because when he's in Boston and he's going to another call center, he literally goes up to FBI agents that's supposed to be surrounding the building,
Yeah.
and he literally mows right through them like they're nothing.
Yeah.
Like he didn't kill them, but he literally took all of them out like literally no problem, like barely breaking a sweat.
Like 2 minutes, done. That was like at least 10 of them taken. FBI's literally the FBI SWAT team.
Yeah.
Just walked through the front door basically because they were supposed to set a perimeter. He was like, there's no back door, so I just gotta walk through the front door. Let me take these guys out real quick and then go about my business. And it's just like crazy. You don't usually see that, in action movies. Mm-hmm. The confidence on this guy.
Yeah, you don't see much of that except in the early '90s action films where he kind of
backs it.
Yeah, he backs it up hard.
He backs it up hard.
Because like even Wallace even said that he literally hired a bunch of like former special forces like Delta like SEAL Team 6, right. Delta Force. He literally said that Beekeepers are literally above them, and it's like you guys are nothing compared to him. Because like if he was in this room, he would kill every single one of you. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And he literally did that inside that call center building. He literally took all of them down with either hand-to-hand combat or literally employing resources that he brought with him to take them down. He literally killed them with an elevator.
Yeah, that was... See, and then, like, the elevator, like, cut them in half. Like, that's more... It drives the point. I literally jumped out of my seat when that happened. I was like, oh! I was like, dang! It's like... It's one of those movies that has, like, a couple of those moments where you're just like, oh! And, like, I love that. Yeah. But... Crazy.
Because like even then, it just still kind of, even though they tell you what a beekeeper is, it still kind of makes you wonder about the whole beekeeper program. Because when Wallace called in a favor to the director of the CIA to call the beekeeper program to try and send one of their own after Adam Clay, and the person that they sent and the beekeeper that went after Adam Clay, she is a complete lunatic.
Oh,
she literally came up to him and just started blasting out of nowhere
at a gas station.
Yeah, with an assault weapon and then a freaking minigun on the back of her truck.
Yeah. It makes you... I'm like, these beekeepers are psychos. Where are they getting trained? Where are they like coming? Just like what? I have so many questions.
Yeah, I like, what's the recruitment process? Because even they said that the lady beekeeper should have been like not part of the program after like months on end because she's such a lunatic and probably does a lot of collateral damage that's unnecessary compared to what Adam Clay does and how he takes them out.
And that was very clear.
And he took her out easily. He was literally just throwing her around like she's nothing, and he literally set her on fire with a jar of honey.
Dude, facts. That's, oh my goodness. I like almost forgot that for a second. You're so right. And then that literally had me thinking, I'm like, this guy is ruthless. Like, you just keep thinking like he has no limit. It's like, what can stop this guy? And he just keeps proving to you that it's truly nothing.
Yeah.
So honestly, and we can talk about this after we get through the plot, but I'm like, could more stories branch out of this organization now that is being introduced? This idea, the beekeepers, like a story about a different beekeeper, or a story about a different beekeeper, or a story about the beekeepers in general. I don't know.
That would be very
intriguing.
That would be very fun because I actually have a theory on that. How like since there's already a beekeeper that was already established in like the movie setting, which is in Boston, I kind of wonder if there's like a beekeeper operative. Yeah, like a beekeeper operative in every state. Or even internationally in every other country, since they said their organization is literally like a hive, and like with bees, there's like a hive in literally every single part and fully functioning. Because through Adam Clay's action, they even said that a beekeeper never stands down, and they work until they die, or in Adam Clay's case, retire.
Right.
Because just imagine like a beekeeper in every state, in every country, where you don't even know they exist, and they basically are literally taking out any type of person, a company, or organization, or like literally anything.
Just a big problem.
Yeah, and the thing is, they literally act of their own volition for when they believe or are told when something needs to be fixed within the system. And through Adam Clay, the man is unstoppable. He literally can't do anything. Because, like, really, as you find out, like, he even said one time in the movie how it's like, you really believe that Adam Clay or the Beekeepers could literally could kill the president if they wanted to.
Yeah. I literally told you that. I was like, this guy could kill the president. And well, actually, that was kind of proven. He could have if he wanted to in this movie.
Yeah,
he just didn't do it.
Yeah, because as we found out later on in the film, we found out that Derek Danforth is actually trying to like use his own mother, who was the creator and head of his company, who actually turns out to be the president of the United States, and through the advice of Wallace, want to go to her home and use her as a human shield, thinking that would stop Adam Clay from coming for him.
His own mother. One and two, it wasn't gonna stop him.
No,
but it was just sad because he was gonna die anyways because Adam Clay wanted him dead anyways, and so it was just sad to see him go out sad by using his mother as a protective shield. I was like, sad man, sad little man.
Yeah, but I do like interesting thing here. Normally, when they kind of reveal like who like the head of the company is or something like that, they usually find out that they're like just as bad or as wicked as like the supporting antagonist.
True.
But for the mother, the President Danforth, she was actually a good person.
Yeah, she was like, I'll literally, like, if I make it out of this alive, I will literally tell everybody the truth, even if it costs me my career, my reputation, and my entire life. Like, I will literally tell the truth. And I was like, respectable.
Yeah, like, she was not a bad person. She actually seemed to be, like, a good president.
She just batched a bad kid. She just hatched a bad egg,
Yeah, but I will say the best action sequence I have seen in this movie, The Beekeeper, was literally when Adam Clay was going up the stairs and literally plowing through like Secret Service agents and then actual mercenaries that were also hired along by Wallace and Derek Danforth. He literally went up those stairs and took all of them out like they were nothing. Like he didn't kill the Secret Service agents, but he literally took them down and injured them like every chance he got to like disable them. But then when he got to the actual mercenaries who were there to actually kill him, he took them out with no hesitation and with such skill with his firearm ability and his hand-to-hand fighting.
Yeah, that was definitely a solid. I mean, all the action in it is really solid. My favorite action bit in this movie, or action sequence in this movie, would have to be in the barn when he takes those 4 guys out that come and like pay him a visit in the barn, because it's like so vivid and like gruesome and like just like ruthless, you know? So I really like the honorable mention though, which is like less action but more just like you really see how skilled this guy is, was when he was sneaking into the compound where they were all hiding at the end, underneath the trucks that were coming in for the party or whatever, and he was literally like caught up underneath the suspension of the car, literally took down a guy, brought him up, changed clothes with him, all while like not falling to the ground basically from underneath this car. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. That was like so impressive.
Yeah, it really shows that a beekeeper could like literally infiltrate anything, even the most heavily guarded place that holds the freaking president.
Literally anything. No, yeah, I'm so impressed. But in the end, Adam Clay successfully completes his mission. Obviously, because if you haven't learned anything of what we're telling you, just know one thing: he cannot be stopped. And yeah, so he completes his mission. He takes down all of these bad call centers, burns them to the ground basically, and then also kills the rotten egg of the president's son that was basically in charge of running this fraud scheme. And then he's on his way.
Yeah. And I think also what helps is good is that because you know his reasoning why, and you already have that kind of like emotional connection to the reason why he's doing this, the story still kind of works strongly. And also works...
you cheer him on.
Yeah, it also works because there's also another thing where like Mrs. Parker's own daughter Verona found her body, and already she was already determined enough to want to find the people who actually was the cause of her mother's death, even though she did kill herself. Like, she understands why Clay is doing it, because even though she's an FBI agent, she understands why he's doing it, but she still wants to actually do her job. And by the end of it, she actually does let Clay go because she believed what he was doing was right. Because she already knows when you got like someone who has a very profitable company, who's rich, they already have like a bunch of lawyers who could already just like make the whole thing go away or delay trial.
Yeah. There was too much money in that for him to, not do what he did and have it be the same outcome,
Yeah.
So it's like one of the, it's like the age old question about anti-heroes. You know, it's like harsh harsh ways of going about it, but maybe the result is like necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that whole thing. But as the movie stands, and for what it was, and for how it was presented, solid. I agree.
Yeah, but honestly, I do like this movie the most because it actually does shows about David Ayer's capability of what he can do when he doesn't have like a studio trying to like ruin his vision.
Yeah.
Which also goes back to the reason why I think this is like a really good movie for him for as a return to form when Warner Brothers like completely botched his Suicide Squad movie back in 2016.
Sad.
Yeah.
Will Smith to waste.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
And Leto. Who knows what could have been out of his Joker.
Okay.
But, anyways, yeah. I think just solid. I don't really have much else to say. Honestly, I will say this. Camera work was so smooth, too. I was really loving the camera work. Not a lot of special stuff, but there was moments where you would really be, especially in the action sequences, not those quick cuts I know you hate.
Yeah, I'm so glad there were no quick cuts that were annoying for the whole film. Everything was all seen and really fluid, everything was
smooth.
You could see everything.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad there were no quick cuts.
Like you could really if his arm was coming this way, you'd see the end of that and see just the entire thing play out. Really, yeah, solid. Just a solid movie, a solid action movie. Do you have anything else to say about The Beekeeper?
Well, the only thing I can say is that David Ayer, you did a great job with this, man. I hope to see more stuff like this in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Statham, still one of the best action stars working to this day still.
Which might I add, I agree with. I was just hesitant, but I'm glad he's back to prime form.
Yes.
With this one. For sure. Hopefully, he keeps at this level moving forward, because I love seeing Jason Statham in this level of quality and or higher.
Yeah.
Meg 2, Expendables 4. If you haven't seen it, forget they exist.
Yeah, don't bother watching that.
But anyways, yeah. So 3 thumbs up if we could from us. Really solid movie. The Beekeeper hasn't been out for too long, so maybe some of you guys have seen it. Maybe some of you guys have not. Regardless, if you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. We recommend, like I said, if you like action movies or if you like Jason Statham, this is definitely a movie for you. We recommend it. Those are our ratings, 8 out of 10 from the both of us. This is going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure to do so. It really does help us out. We try to bring you guys videos at least once a week, sometimes more. And if you like this video, the best way to let us know is by hitting that thumbs up button down there. So please make sure to do that because, again, it really does help us out. But with that being said, this was The Big Screen Show. We'll see you guys soon. Peace.